I was doing some clean out at my house, and I realized, oh my word, all this stuff that we have that we don't really need. A bookshelf just fell apart in my son's room. And we're like, man, we got too many children books.
No, you don't. No,
listen, we've got a lot of kid books that we're going to be able to keep some for the grandkids one day.
Right.
But, our kids don't read them anymore. They're just kind of there.
They're memories, though.
It's a lot of books. You could still have memories.
I have
without having to have an overload of stuff.
I don't know. I got a lot of books. I can't part with them. So I get that.
I think, Liz, I've seen this before, but you have a lot of things in one cupboard.
I do.
You have an excess of stuff.
I get in trouble because I love coffee mugs.
She's always picking one up.
I collect certain ones. So my husband gets so upset with me. He's like, you don't need another coffee mug.
She has one in her cupboard that has my initial on it.
But it also is my last name, so.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's Riles.
You forgot that part.
I thought that was, if you ever have us over, I thought that would be my mug.
You can use that one.
For Rob.
Right, and I have, if I visit another country or another state
She's bringing back a coffee mug.
Every single time. So I've had to clean out that cupboard. That's just a few of the ones that I have, and there's probably 40 in that cupboard.
How do they even stay in there?
I'd stack them on top of each other.
But how does the cupboard stay on the wall?
Oh, my husband built them. They're good. They're good. But I have another shelf upstairs in my little office, and it showcases other mugs.
How many?
There's probably 20 in there. But then I have two other in my dining room that has tea mugs, coffee mugs. Yeah. I probably have 100, at least.
Liz, that's a lot.
I can't help it.
It's okay.
I can't help it.
Just, Goodwill.
Why?
Miracle Hill, thrift store.
No, I'm sorry. And I donate, but I am so attached to the memories.
There's no way you can drink out of all those things. I
drink at least 2 or 3 cups a day, so yeah, there is.
1 cup? You just use one mug. I
usually do use one mug. But are there not 200 days in a year?
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
On His Radio.
Scott Watson, let me tell you, great guy. And kind of like Liz, who has an over excess of coffee mugs all over her house.
Yeah.
They're everywhere, all over her house. Her poor husband, Joey, doesn't know what to do.
They're put up. It's not like they're just laying on the ground.
Mm-hmm. They're all over the place, on the kitchen counter.
No.
They're by the bedside, nightstand.
There might be one there.
There's quite a few. In Scott's case, it's CDs. And I'm not talking about cash.
Oh, right.
Yeah, not the CDs in a bank. It's the stuff that you used to play music on way back in the day that are in the Smithsonian Institute now.
Yeah. I have boxes of them in the attic, and I've collected these. I've not only bought them, but from, freebies from radio stations, and they used to send music to through CDs. So I've just got a bunch of them boxed up, and I tried to sell some recently, and I just got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So a ridiculous amount of
Why
them.
buy them anymore? It's all on your phone.
And now I can't play them.
Exactly.
They're getting rid of CD players. You can't hardly find a way to play them anymore.
You don't have a CD player?
I don't.
Well, I
do.
Either,
I've got one in the car.
We also don't have 2,000 CDs or whatever the case is, like Scott. So you have all those CDs and no CD player.
Well, I've got one in the car, but, the CDs are boxed up in the attic under other boxes, and they're just sitting up there. I can't really get
It's time to clean out the attic, dude.
Or put the box in your hatchback, and then you can play music.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
On His Radio.
I wonder what you thought when you saw the post yourself. If you haven't, it's pretty basic. It's a lady driving down the road in her Tesla, asleep.
Completely.
Asleep. It looks at least the appearance with her sunglasses on and slouched off, and her head's off to the right-hand corner.
She looked cozy.
She looked cozy, and doesn't appear that her hands are on the steering wheel. Driving down the road, and one lady and her sister are driving, and they're like, "Do you see this?" So, of course, the phone comes out, Of course, the
Of
passenger is going to be filming this thing and posting it. They were so concerned for the lady in that Tesla that looked like she was asleep and letting the car do the self-drive thing, that they followed her for 15 minutes. And then when they noticed that she never even put her hands on the wheel, looks like she's still asleep, they called the police and said, hey, look what's happening here.
Yeah, so a couple of things. She could have fallen asleep. She could have had a medical condition, narcolepsy or something like that.
They did honk their horn trying to get her attention, and so they were a little concerned because of that, too.
Yeah. That scares me. Like, oh, my car will park for me. My car will drive for me. No, thank you. I know I'm type A and I like control. If somebody else is in the car I want to drive, I'm not letting that control go to a vehicle that literally could shut down at any second.
That's true.
I just can't do it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I would say I agree with Liz on this one.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
So we're hearing from Kay because Kay has seen this too. I don't know if you've seen this. That post of somebody who is in a Tesla appearing to be asleep at the wheel and the self-driving has taken over.
Yeah, she's sitting in the driver's seat, sort of catty-cornered up to the window, and her head or neck is down. Her chin is down on her chest. She looks like she is slumbering hard.
I mean, it looks like for hours. She's
just
been like this. You don't know. So Kay has a Tesla.
I want to give you 100%. The car does not drive that long without someone being aware of what's going on. You can put it in autopilot. Your hands have to be touching the steering wheel. Hers may have been low on the steering wheel. And then about every 30 seconds to 2 minutes, somewhere around in there, you have to what I call check the steering wheel. Just give it a little twist to make sure that somebody is there. If you do that 3 times, if you don't do that 3 times, the car will actually go into regular driving again, and so you have lost your privilege to drive.
At least there's some safeguard.
But I can't say enough about my Tesla and how wonderful it was, and the autopilot is the very best in stop-and-go traffic in Atlanta.
Well, and I love the fact that Elon Musk puts you in time out if you don't do the right thing.
There you go.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
The smell of the state.
It's like green chili.
Is it green chili? It
Yeah.
is green chili. New
Yeah.
Mexico. New Mexico is trying to come up with a state aroma.
A state aroma for the entire state.
Yeah. And they say
state
it's going to
aroma.
be the green chilies because it's just synonymous with the culture and their food and everything to do with it. So
I
I'm
wouldn't
like,
even know what it would be for here.
I was thinking around the Carolinas and Georgia. Here are my thoughts. North Carolina, pine needles.
Pine needles.
Yeah, because we always, get our tree. Well, not always, but we have chopped down the Christmas tree and
That's
just that
Christmas.
smell. But it's the evergreen needles.
But that's Christmas. That's not got nothing to do with the state.
yes, it does.
Okay, so where'd your Christmas tree come from?
From the North Carolina mountains.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's
All
what I'm
right.
saying. Okay.
I'll give her that.
South Carolina, I think magnolias or gardenias. And gardenias, because we have some, and my husband always picks them and puts them in my car to start my morning.
Okay, my
which is
brain's not
amazing.
thinking. What's that tree that blooms in the spring and smells horrible?
Oh, that's Bradford pear.
Yeah, so
Honey,
Bradford.
no.
That's Bradford pear. That's the state aroma.
Yeah, and then Georgia, I'm going to go with Spanish moss or maybe the salty air.
There's not a smell to Spanish moss.
I bet there is.
Really? Scott would know.
Everything has a smell.
Spanish moss.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't
know.
There's not a smell.
I know.
of that.
I see it in my mind, but I can't smell it.
How can you miss it? It's all over Savannah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think do you not roll the windows down or take a walk?
Yeah.
Because
Listen, I lived
smell
in
that.
Tampa Bay, Florida. There was moss all over the place.
Yeah.
Smack you in the face
But
if you
it's-
didn't look.
But it's different, isn't it?
How is it different?
Do they have Spanish moss? I don't
There's
know about
moss,
Florida. I
Yeah,
know-
there are spots in Tampa Bay where there's Spanish moss, and if you walk, it'll smack you in the face. I mean, it's dangling all over.
Okay, so then what would you choose for Florida? Because I know exactly what I would choose. What would you choose?
No, go ahead. Let me hear.
Oranges. Absolutely oranges.
It's citrus. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a citrus state.
Because as soon as I think of Florida, that's exactly like the smell that overtakes me.
Okay, then.
A look on your
It's
face.
not the smell that
you
overtakes me in
just
Florida.
elevated me.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio, and it's them looking for a state aroma.
Mm-hmm.
You have the state bird, You have the state tree.
Motto.
There's a state flower in some places. Now they want a state aroma, which they say is red chili and right?
Green chili.
Green chili.
I don't know.
Either way, it does something to your stomach.
Yeah, it really
And that's a different aroma. So the texts are coming in about things around here and what you would name this state.
Yeah, so Bonnie thinks the state smell should be peaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a water tower in a certain area.
Yeah, upstate South Carolina, yeah.
Yeah. It does not look like a peach to me. I don't think it looks like a peach to a lot of people.
No comment.
My kids, first time they saw it, were like,
Right?
What is that, Dad? I had to look and tell them, oh, that's a peach.
It's a peach.
I had no idea. Okay, so Robin's here. What do you think the smell should be, Robin, for the state?
And Carolina, we're known for that good old Carolina barbecue.
All right, what's the best barbecue? Where'd you get it?
There is a little local place in Beaufort that is just to die for, and it's called Duke's Barbecue.
Is it like their mayonnaise?
Oh, no, it's not like their mayonnaise.
Sorry, I had to do that. But let me tell you, there's a difference when you have great North Carolina barbecue, and Scott can tell us. They can tell you. I mean, dude, North Carolina barbecue's great.
Delicious.
You know? There's
It's
just
delicious.
something different about it, especially Lexington.
Yeah, I was going to say just something completely different.
Slow, smoked.
Right. Mm-hmm. Can they do it as good anywhere else? I don't think so.
Yeah, right?
So Marcy texted, because I mentioned, I think Spanish moss, could be a state smell for
No,
sure.
it doesn't have an aroma.
See, and I think it does, but what Marcy said was, when I think about Spanish moss, though, I don't know about the smell really, but I know it's got red bugs.
Yeah. I tell you,
What?
Ninja grew up in the Beaufort area, Spanish moss all over the place, and red bug's an issue, right?
Yeah, it's not red bugs, it's red bugs, like one word, like that's what they're called. But like if they bite you, they're really itchy, so you put fingernail polish on it, so it'll kind of like suffocate it.
What color?
Preferably clear,
Clear
Preferably clear.
and
but
not red.
that's the thing, you don't play in the Spanish moss.
I did not know that Spanish moss. Now I had this romantic, kind of a thought about the Spanish moss and how
Now
beautiful.
you got red bugs that bite you and then you itch.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
I'll tell you my first thought when I heard this, that she wants to go for free. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio. Seriously, I'm thinking, free ride to the Super Bowl. That's what this whole thing is.
Look, I think she's going for free anyway. So Donna Kelce, that is Mama Kelce, as I call her, because she is mom to two of the players, one on the Chiefs, one on the Eagles, Jason and Travis. So they're in the Super Bowl. Do you think she doesn't get a free ticket? I think she does.
She does.
I think she does. Well, there's a petition that was put out by fans, and they want her to do the coin toss at the beginning
Because
of the game.
both her boys are on opposing teams.
I mean, as a mom, as a parent, that's got to be rough. So she was asked, okay, who are you going to pull for? She had a great answer. She said, I'm going to pull for whoever has the ball. Both of her sons play offense. And so she was like, okay, I got to figure this thing out. She has a jersey that part of it is for the Chiefs, part of it
No
is for...
way.
Yes.
Somebody made that for her. That's
I mean,
cool.
I would, as a parent, you would almost have to do the same thing. Your jersey.
So her sons aren't going, I want my mom to do the coin toss at the
No.
Super Bowl. It's people who are fans of these guys
Yes.
that are saying, so how many people signed this petition thing?
Right now, it's over 178,000, like 178.3 something. So, their goal is only 150,000. So they've reached their goal. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I mean, that's the big wigs with
Something
the NFL.
tells me probably not.
Probably
That's
not.
what it tells me. But they might do something special.
They might do something
So you'll
special.
see something. What is it on? CBS or something like that? I don't know what
Fox.
it's on.
I think it's on Fox.
So it's on Fox. So Fox will do something, right?
I would
I
think so.
they do something. I don't know if the NFL will allow it, but if I were the commissioner of the NFL, and I'm not, as you could tell, I'd do it.
Right? But somebody is going to come back and say, well, she wasn't. I don't know if you have to be licensed to do a coin toss.
To
but,
do a coin toss, you flip a coin.
well, who normally
and you
does it? A
say-
referee?
Yes.
Okay, well, she's not
The
a referee.
main dude does it and
Okay.
flips it in the air.
Well, she's
all he
not
has
a
to do is
referee.
hand it over there and say, you officially can do it. She flips a coin. What kind of skill do you need to flip a coin?
Well, you don't, but a referee, normally is the one that does it. something else, she brought team snacks.
To both teams?
She did. Well, she brought them to her son. She had little Tupperware containers at the beginning of the week when they kicked off Super Bowl week. And she shows up with 2 little Tupperware containers with homemade cookies.
See, still the team mom.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
I don't know my mail carrier that well, but whenever she is going down the road and I'm outside, there's always a wave. It's a hello, Mr. Dempsey. It's put the mail in the mailbox, and with a smile goes to the next house.
Yep.
And is always attentive and cool. It's like if you could stop and talk, she'd have a great conversation with you.
Right.
But
if
she's
she,
busy.
If she stopped and talked to everybody, whoo.
But let me tell you, in Jersey, there's something going on here because they are intentionally stopping and talking to senior citizens.
Yeah, for a good long while. Mm-hmm. I mean, it might be 10, 15 minutes, but you add that throughout the day. But the reason that they're doing that is because they have a lot of folks along their routes that don't really have a family member or anyone that kind of checks on them.
Yeah, there's one who is Christopher. He's a mail carrier, and there's one guy that he checks on all the time. He's 76 years old, and he's had a history of major stroke, and he's a prime candidate for a program that they call Call and Check. And so he calls and he checks on this guy all the time because he also has hearing loss.
Yes.
And so when he knocks on the door, sometimes he doesn't come to the door, but he knocks loud enough so that they can have at least a little bit of a conversation. And one thing that the post office figured out there is that, it really only cost us $8 a person. To do this, and it's well worth it. So even though we're investing $8.11 a person, it works.
Yeah, and so it's something that other countries around the world have been watching.
They're literally calling Jersey and saying, "How's this working for you?" Japan called, and France called, and other countries are going, "We want to do this."
And Meals on Wheels does that type of thing. It's not the post office, obviously, but Meals on Wheels, of course, they drop off the meals, but a lot of times it is considered like a well check. So if somebody doesn't answer the door, then there's a phone call made to a family member or a neighbor, whoever's kind of checking on the person anyway.
So I'm going to put a chair by my mailbox.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
I feel like it's going to save us a ton of money.
I don't know. Dentists, however, are saying this. Please don't do this because it's costing you more money than you even think. There are a lot of hacks. You can go on YouTube and find a hack for anything. Now you can find a hack for dental work.
For dental work, like braces?
Seriously. So here's one lady who has a hack, and you can literally go, I think it's over the counter, where you can buy dental cement for your teeth. And she's trying to straighten her teeth. And so here's what she's doing. She's using this cement, this dental cement, and then using earrings to help close gaps in her teeth.
Earrings?
Yeah. To close gaps in your teeth. And that's what she's doing. And then there's other people that are like, I can do the same thing. And so now all these people are going and doing their own dental work. Like, for instance, braces. Taking a spoon to take the braces out. Take the braces to remove them.
Ouchie.
Right?
You can rip your teeth out.
Yeah. And now some people that are actually going and trying these own hacks on their own to do their own dental work are winding up spending more money going to the dentist.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Please don't do that to your braces. But
you would think, I don't think that, okay, I am not a person who'll go, don't do this, don't do that, because I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence.
No, but I'm thinking.
But some people are actually falling for this stuff and going, hey, if I can save some little bit of money, which you wind up paying more money because you got to go get it fixed.
Well, yeah, but I remember my daughter when she had her braces and she got them early that, they're sore. I don't want them tightened. And I can see her, checking it out and seeing if it would work. So,
going to YouTube and taking care of it. Yeah.
Oh, my God. But I'm still stuck, Rob, on the earrings. Because,
using it as a spacer.
I love me some bling, so...
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
Super Bowl Sunday is this Sunday, and I have to admit, I've often wondered about this.
What's that?
Where all the gear goes for the team that doesn't win.
The gear. Oh, you mean like the hats and the winning shirts and all that?
And the
that they are
jerseys.
they're the champions?
Yeah.
Because they produce all that. So I don't know if you ever notice at the end of one of these games, all of a sudden they're wearing shirts that say that they won the Super Bowl.
They're champions.
And then they have the world champion for the hats and all that other stuff. Super Bowl winning team. Both teams have those made. But only one team can actually wear it at the end because they actually won. So what happens to the other stuff? Well, there is a company that actually makes all of these. They all go to, and it's Good 360. And Good 360 says all that excess of all of that fanware at the end of the games that say that they are the conference champions and all that other stuff goes, the losing ones go to people who actually need it. So there could be a homeless shelter, there could be some kind of ministry, some kind of outreach, and literally all that clothing will go to them. So that some people will have hats they don't have and will have shirts, even though it's the wrong team. They never won. It's the losing team, but that's where that kind of apparel will go.
It makes me feel so much better because, you think, oh, that's so wasteful. If it's just going to end up in a dumpster somewhere, in the garbage somewhere, how awful is that? So I'm glad somebody had to have this idea years and years and years ago. How many Super Bowls is this now? 140?
Oh, 5,082.
Okay. So somebody along the way said, we can't just throw that stuff out. We've got to do something good with it.
And they do it, yeah.
Oh,
it's good for a greater purpose is the way that they say this is what we do with it.
So can they
good for a greater purpose.
Can they take the leftovers that we have at the house, the leftover chicken wings as well? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Okay, that's a little different.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
On His Radio.
It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, His Radio.
I do look forward to the Super Bowl in some ways. I like to hang out with my family, and now I'm pretty much watching Puppy Bowl, but the commercials are awesome.
Really?
A lot of time. Yeah. Like I have been watching, with a family and something comes on for the Hallmark card company or whatever, and I'm just like, and it just touches your
The feely good ones.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of get that.
But then you've got the other ones, the one that has the horses and all that stuff.
A lot of them are overrated to me.
Oh,
seriously.
right.
$6 million for $7 million for 30 seconds.
30 seconds
to captivate. I mean, nah, it doesn't work.
But look, the world stage that you have the ability to influence, to reach is incredible. So there's a company that decided, hey, we're gonna do our own ads. And the campaign is called He Gets Us. Okay, they're going viral right now. They're already kind of out there. It's starting to leak a little bit.
He gets us.
He gets us.
That sounds something like faith.
They're
to
talking
me.
about Jesus gets us.
Come on,
yeah,
really? Oh, that's
yeah.
great.
So it says we want to influence attitudes and perceptions about Jesus, and they feel like the 7 million per 30 seconds, and I don't know how many they're doing, is totally worth that, and I get it. Here's one thing that one of the spokespeople for the company said, I hope that He Gets Us can show people what the true Jesus of the Bible was like. He was a man of the people. He had compassion. He related to the poor, the downtrodden, as well as the rich and successful. So what they're saying is Jesus is for everybody. It's not just a certain group of people. It is for anyone and everyone who wants that in their life, the joy, the hope, that eternal life with Jesus, and they want to make sure they reach everybody that's watching the Super Bowl.
I'm glad they're doing that.
I am too.
I really am going to pray that it touches a lot of lives and that people will turn their hearts toward Jesus.
Right. I'm hoping that the next day, on Monday, all the talk shows, everybody that's talking about the Super Bowl, and there's always, what were the best commercials? I am praying that this is one of them. Those He Gets Us commercials, I love that. And then they're sharing it.